Blog Talk Radio.
Please take all the necessary precautions to protect your Constitution while listening to this broadcast.
3, 2, 1. Coming to you live via the internet. It's time for Rage Against the Regime.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Finally, a show for patriots, defending the Constitution and uncovering the truth at every turn, bringing you exclusive interviews and covering the topics the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. Call in and join the discussion at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. And now, here are your hosts, Bobby Who's the Man and Becky Williams.
Rage Against Regime. I'm your host, Becky Williams, and our host, Bobby Ritter, is online. Good afternoon, Bobby. Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm here. I'm just trying to keep the noise down. So on and so forth. I'm just, oh, man.
Listen, I want to apologize to the folks. We had a mix-up on who was running the board. I dropped the ball. Happy birthday, Bobby. I want to say happy birthday, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Wholeheartedly.
All right, we've got a couple of people on the line. I want to say happy birthday to you. I believe we have Z-Man. I believe we have Keith. Keith, Z-Man, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy birthday, Bobby, you old fart.
Thank you. I'm still at work trying to keep the noise down. They really got me good today. What an incredible day for maniacal bullcrap. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. What an incredible day for maniacal bullcrap. You know, these people do this crap on purpose to me. You know what? I just actually had it out. I'm the boss, okay? And one of my workers just, I said to him, I go, hey, man, what's going on? You know, you were supposed to be somewhere to pick up a load. They made me do it. I go, this ain't right. You know, this shit keeps happening. You know, something's wrong with this picture. We shouldn't be going through this all the time. I shouldn't be having to do, you know, the work of 3 people or whatever. You know, I mean, I do it, though, you know, because it's part of my job as a supervisor. Knowing it's my birthday, I want to get the hell out of here. Okay, I got better things to be doing than sitting here doing this bull crap. So the guy is going to go, oh, you know what, man? You know what? Nobody's ever said anything to me about any of this stuff. You know, they just seem to be telling you about it, but they don't say nothing to me. That's kind of funny how that works out. How does that work out that way, that they're telling you something and they ain't telling me nothing? I go, first of all, let me explain something to you, sir. I'm the boss, okay? I'm the boss. They're supposed to be telling me, you know, it's called, you know, you go the proper chain of command. Not whatever the bullshit is that, you know, that the game that he's trying to play. Oh, my God. You know, it's just, I'm just so perturbed right now. Then they made sure that they blocked every door so I couldn't go in with the trailer just now. Okay? They blocked every damn door. I am so mad right now that they did it on purpose. They blocked every door where Bobby can't go inside with the trailer. Bobby's got to sit outside. Like, they're all laughing about it. Then the guy on me in front of a whole group of people, okay? There's a whole group of people standing there, and he's showing his ass, okay? And then they're all high-fiving and this and that and everything. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Wow. Sounds like Bob's having a bang-up birthday. I hope these guys are just giving him a hard time so they can give him a birthday surprise.
I hope so, too. Nobody should get treated like that on their birthday.
Yeah, that sucked.
Well,
How are you
I know
doing
Bobby
today?
wanted to cover a subject today, and we're going to discuss. I said, I know Bobby wanted to cover one big subject today, and that would be theft of valor. People going around dressing as military to gain the benefits when they've never served, which I did a whole...
Bobby told me y'all were doing a show about that today. He didn't realize, I don't think, that you were going to do it as well on Spreaker. But yeah.
Oh no, I did that as a bit of a
Okay.
companion show for. I did that as a bit of a companion show for this one, so that anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about can go back, reference that, and listen to the audio that I played. Because what I did was I played the audio from all these stolen valor videos that are popping up on YouTube, so that
I'm
anybody
so
who's
sorry.
part
Did
of
you guys
it.
hear that? Oh, I got that. I'm so sorry. And then these guys are showing their ass, you know, and the guy's showing his ass, and then everybody's high-fiving him. You know, doing all that ghetto fucking shit. And then, you know, they're like, I thought you were the supervisor, Bobby. Damn, you're going to let them treat you like that? Damn, Bobby, you're going to let them treat you like that? Aren't you the supervisor? Oh. I was like, you know what, guys? Don't get me started right now. Don't get me going, because it's going to be a very, very, very bad outcome. Okay? I'm not trying to ruin my day. My day's already been ruined, okay? My day was ruined 2 days ago, and that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, wow. Well, brother, we're here to make your day a better day. So, from myself and my brothers and sisters that are out there that haven't called in yet, happy birthday, man. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sink to their level, man.
Yeah, you know, the world's full of idiots. We just happen to have to walk among them.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I'm here. I keep muting because I don't want the sound to come through on the show.
That's all right, brother, man. You're doing fine. So, Bobby, I understand we're going to be covering a topic about stolen valor today. What a great topic, especially of what's going on right now with the complete humiliation that's being inflicted on our military by a rogue mafiotic organization disguised to some still as a government.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, people. This is perfect timing for me to talk about this too. You know, there's something very, very wrong with you if you're a person that goes around and you're stealing valor. Okay? I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of guys wearing the wrong boots with the wrong camo, with the wrong patches, with the wrong whatever, medals, with the wrong beret, with the wrong hat, you know, this and that. Guys wearing gym shoes with a uniform. First of all, that's the most uttermost disrespect ever, to be wearing a pair of gym shoes while wearing a military uniform. One guy had enough audacity to say that his unit is allowed to wear gym shoes because they have to have speed to be able to catch the bad guys and this and that. It's like, people, please, please, please stop, okay? You are disrespecting our nation. You are disrespecting yourself as a human being, okay? And you are disrespecting the military and the people that help us get sleep at night, okay? You know what? I'm going to say this. I have a lot of friends in the military, people that are very close to me that are still in the military to this day. I have a friend who's listening right now, I guarantee you. Hello, Chris. Thank you for everything that you do, sir, and everybody else that's in the military. But this stolen valor thing, you know what, it just drives me crazy. You people that keep doing this, you're going to get hurt one day, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not threatening you. Me, Rage Against the Regime is not threatening you. What it boils down to is some of these guys that have put their lives on the line and lost brothers and lost, family members and, keep fighting the good fight for us, and are out there doing this, and they do it for a living, okay? And they leave their families for months and months, sometimes years on end, to protect our country and help us get a good night's sleep at nighttime, okay? You are very disrespectful. What you are doing is the most disrespectful thing that you can ever do to a member of the military, okay? And I love when members of the military catch these assholes out walking around thinking that they're badasses and, they can't tell you nothing about nothing when they're asking them any type of information. And you know what? And I'm not even going to sit here and try to spit military jargon. Well, I just said that backwards. I'm not even going to try to spit military jargon because I can't speak because I've never been in the military. I would never claim that I was in the military because I wouldn't want to look like a freaking idiot when it came down to it. And, and somebody come up and ask me a question like, what happened with these guys? Okay? And for you not to know anything when, questions are being asked to you just shows you how much more of an idiot you are. So stop while you're behind and don't do it anymore, okay? Because it is very, very disrespectful. You're going to end up getting shot, hurt, killed, stabbed, your neck broken, arm broken. Something's going to happen because these guys take this seriously. This is what they do for a living, okay? That would be like, I don't even know what to use as an example because I can't think of anything that, when you pretend to be something. All right, here, a police officer or a fireman or something like that. I mean, which wouldn't be as bad because you probably wouldn't have to know that much to be a fireman if somebody asked you, oh, what ladder are you on? You could tell them your neighborhood ladder. I'm not saying this to give anybody any ideas, so strike that if anybody's trying to get any ideas. What I'm saying is it wouldn't be as hard for you to spit the information that they're asking you compared to military information. What's this mean? What is that pin? What's this medal? What's that ribbon? What's this? What's that? Just stop, okay? Stop. And that's all I got to say.
I absolutely agree with you, brother. I was talking about it on the Spreaker show earlier that, especially around this time of year, which is why we're bringing it up, pure and simple, these people are serving our country right now. There are people over in Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, wherever you want to, you pick it, somewhere over in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world. They're there right now instead of being home here in America with their families on Christmas Eve. And there are idiots out there walking around on Black Friday dressed as soldiers just because they know that people are going to shake their hand or say thank you to them for something they didn't even do. And it's despicable. Honestly, me and my father were talking about this earlier. My father served. My grandfather was a Marine. My great-grandfather was one of the founding state troopers here in New York. And I'll tell you right now, it's ridiculous when people think that they can walk around taking this kind of credit for people when I personally know plenty of people who have bled for this country. And I may not have personally served, but I know the sacrifice that people that my friends, family, and so on have made for this country, and it's disgusting to see people acting this way.
Well, you know what it is? It's the handouts. Okay? If people are giving at this time of year to people that are in the military. Okay? Oh, thank you for your service. Let me buy you a I don't know, name something, a cheeseburger. Let me buy you a cheeseburger. Let me get you whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, okay?
Yep.
So people do it for that reason right there, okay? They do it for the handouts, and it's wrong, okay? It's completely wrong for them to be doing what they're doing for the reason that they're doing it. So, you know, it's really stupid.
Pretty much. I mean, it's just like you said. They just want attention. They want to get exactly what they're getting, that they're stealing valor. They want valor for something that they didn't do, and they want to seem like they're such a badass because they made sacrifices and they did that and the other, just this, that, and the other. And when in reality, they're just total con artists. They're small people, and I'm really considering outing this one gentleman because this one guy was straight up face-to-face with the camera. He's this fat slob wearing glasses. Looks like he hadn't brushed his teeth in 10 years. And he's saying how he's going to be at Denny's. He's like, oh, I hope I run into you at Denny's or at Golden Corral during Veterans Day. Because basically he's a big fat slob who uses the Veterans Day and all these companies that give away free food to veterans if they come in uniform. He's utilizing that to his advantage. And there's all these people attacking him, and he's basically saying, I don't care. You're not going to do anything about it. Well, I'll tell you right now, my views may not represent Rage Against the Regimes, but I'll tell you right now, if I run into one of these people, I may not be able to hold myself back from getting physical with them because I'm not in the military. I don't have to worry about going to jail for abusing government property. If I meet you and you're one of these despicable pieces of crap, I might just punch you in the mouth. And you'll deserve it.
Love it.
It's disgusting. It makes me angry to see these people doing the things they do and knowing what my family and friends have gone through to keep this country safe, and there's people walking around there dressing like they're, you know, they're part of the military when they're not even, I don't even know. I get so frustrated I can't even talk sometimes thinking about the things these people do.
You know, that gentleman you're talking about, well, not gentleman, that pig that you're referencing, I put up his physical address just recently. Yeah. His physical address has been given out. That asshat is actually in North Carolina, I believe, North or South Carolina. I'd have to look it up. It's been a couple of weeks ago. But, yeah, he's sitting around bragging and driving in his car and running his mouth and, you know, talking smack about military personnel and you're not going to do a damn thing to me and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he is in your face, blatantly rude individual. He's a fat slob that lives in his mama's house, and he's in his 50s. You know, he's a disgrace to the human race. He's a glutton. He's a thief. He's a piece of shit. And I hope he hears this show. I really do. I hope he hears it.
I'm actually looking up his YouTube channel so we can give out his YouTube name so that people can look for themselves what we're talking about. And if people want to, you know, confront him, then, you know, we can't be responsible for that. But he put it out on YouTube for all to see. So his name, or his YouTube name is Johnny B34434. So go check out his video. It's titled "Stolen Valor, Nobody Cares," and see what this scumbag actually has to say about our U.S. military. Because honestly, hello? You there, Bob? Hello,
Bobby. Maybe he's got us on mute.
Maybe. I thought I heard a hello. Anyway, but yeah, so check out the video and discern for yourself how disrespectful this guy really is. Still there, Becky?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
I'm here too. I'm clearing something up, and I'll be right there.
Oh, okay. We thought you were trying to get through when I was talking before, so we didn't want to cut you off. Anyway, but yeah, this guy is just a disrespectful
There's
pig.
a lot of people out there, Z, doing the same thing that he does. For the goodies, you know, the free cup of coffee, the free hamburger, the thank you for your service. You know, he's actually mocking our military. This guy is. He's not just out there for the sake of the freebies. He is driving great pleasure in mocking military vets and active duty personnel, and he pulls no punches in his vile intent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you watch his videos and see that he's mocking them and laughing at them and the families.
It's absolutely disgusting. You know, I mean, there's always going to be, you know, scumbags out there, but these people are just crossing the line. You know, these people are protecting our country day in and day out. I personally have friends who have bad backs, bad knees, that could barely walk because of the stuff that they went through, because they just had to, you know, beat the hell out of their bodies while they served, and now they're not even getting so much as a thank you from our own government, let alone, you know, health benefits or help, and then we got these scumbags coming along trying to take whatever honor these people still have,
right?
And it's just sad.
It is sad, brother, and you know, I mean, it's bad enough that our military come home, the ones that are fortunate enough to make it back alive or uninjured. They're neglected medically, mentally. They're neglected financially. You know, this government takes people who have a good heart and have a patriotic mind because they've been brainwashed into really believing that they are being patriots, they are serving the greater good, God and man, and they're thrown into battles that apathetic, crawling bodies. Home and they're treated, they're neglected. They're made to live on the street and apart and destroyed. Their lives are never the same. And then we have the life of kids like what they're doing.
Becky, you're breaking up really, really bad.
Can you hear me now, brother?
Yeah, I can, but you're going in and out and in and out. And to be honest with you, I mean, there should be no background noise for me now. I'm in my personal car that you can't hear any noise. It's not my wife's car. So, I mean, I'm going around the corner to pick up my check, but, you know, other than that, I mean, you'll hear that maybe for a second, but you shouldn't be able to hear anything else, so...
All right. Well, I'm on the house phone, so I can't use my headset. I'm out of minutes on my cell, so we're using the house phone.
Lordy.
AT&T charges me like $127 a minute. It's just ridiculous. My phone bill last month was over $400.
What in the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, I could buy 3 hookers and a midget to clean the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I covered it a little bit when I was talking about it on the Freaky Show.
Sorry, I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What were you going to say?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize there was on YouTube. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Some guy jumped out in front of my car, and just, it was crazy. I just missed him. And I was like, holy cow, I'm so sorry, man. You know, because he came out from out of nowhere and just, like, jumped in front of me.
Jesus.
Wow. But, no, I mean, you know, it's a bad situation for us all to be in, you know, and these people doing what they're doing and getting away with it. I mean, you know, and the only way that they're going to put a stop to it is by is by somebody probably getting hurt and then them posting it online, but nobody's going to post anybody, beating anybody up online because nobody wants to get in trouble for it, of course, So, I mean, that's not going to be a situation. But
it's civilians don't understand when they're doing something wrong. It takes a current or recently out military guy to notice that they're out of regulation when it comes to their uniform, or something that they say doesn't match up with what they're wearing, and then they start questioning about it because us in the civilian world wouldn't understand, and that's how they're able to get away with it. It's just like when a mechanic tells you something's wrong with your car and you don't know how to fix your own car. You're going to believe whatever they say because you're not experienced in the matter. That's why all the videos.
I was going to say that's a very good. That's a very, very good example. Very good. When it comes to mechanics, a half-assed mechanic's going to try to get over on somebody, because take for instance a woman, even a man that doesn't know anything about cars or whatever, they're going to try to get over on them because they know that the woman or the other person doesn't really know much about cars.
Well, if you think about it, most people who go to mechanics don't, if you know how to work on it, most likely you're going to do the job yourself unless you don't have the time.
Exactly.
So they know the minute you walk in there, most likely you're a sucker and you're going to believe whatever they tell you because you don't know mechanics. That's why I know.
Exactly right.
I know enough mechanics. I know more or less small engines like 4-wheelers, lawnmowers and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, I know enough about mechanics where if I take my car to a garage, I can tell if he's blowing smoke up my ass or not. Excuse the term, but either way, the point is, me and my dad were talking about it this morning, and my dad was the one who pretty much said it. He's like, unless you're somebody like me who's served, you're not going to know when they're out of uniform or if they're lying about what battalion they're with or what regiment or whatever it is. I don't even know the terminology that well, and I was raised in a military family. So that just goes to show you that, the average civilian is just going to be like, oh, really? You were within the 101st Airborne? Like, there's one of the videos I played the audio from. The guy says that he's explosive, or one of the videos that I didn't play, actually, was this guy claiming that he was an explosive ordnance disposal unit with the 101st Airborne. Yeah, he was saying he was EOD, but he was also saying he's part of the 101st Airborne, which both of them have nothing to do with each other. Wow. So, there's just a lot of stuff like that unless it's that blatant where they're an idiot and they don't know what they're talking about at all, they can get away with it. So it's just, it's so easy to do, and the benefits of it are so, I'm sure these people have been doing it for years. There was another video I was going to play that was like 6 minutes long, so I didn't want to waste the viewers' time. But this young gentleman, which it was really disgusting, though, was the fact that there was this young African-American gentleman claiming to be in the Marines. He was wearing the full Marines, like, dress, get-up and everything, but he was attending a funeral for a fallen Marine.
I seen it today, a black guy wearing glasses.
Yeah, yep, and they were confronting him. I was gonna use the audio from that one, but that video was a bit too long. But yeah, that guy, that really pissed me off. I mean, it's one thing to be going on the mall, but to appear at a funeral, that's just disgusting. I mean,
hey,
when my grandfather.
Got Bill De Guillermo on the phone. Bill De Guillermo, are you there?
Yeah, I want to say happy birthday to Bobby.
Hey,
all right, brothers.
Hello, Bill. Thank you.
You're welcome. You didn't reveal that age, did you?
No. Yeah, right.
I can tell. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Civil War protocols rather than the topic now.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby's old as he's not old enough for wrinkles yet.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Unless he laughs a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I was interested in the conversation, so I was quietly listening. But thanks for giving me a chance to tell Bobby happy birthday.
I know you're a busy man. I just want to make sure you got to squeeze it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm gonna marry Bill.
I put some things off for about a half hour. What's that?
I'm gonna marry Bill when we're old and ugly and he's not so damn busy.
Yeah, we're gonna pull it off together, aren't we?
Well, we are. I mean, but I want to wait until we're finished having a whole lot of fun. All right? You don't mind, do you?
No, we can just practice until that point.
First for me, brother. You get with my people. I have my people get with your people, and we'll hook that up.
I'd rather get those other people out of the way.
Bill, have you seen that video about the stolen valor? That fat guy, Johnny. I think I sent it to you. I don't remember if I did or not. That fat guy that he bragging about military can kiss his ass and he'll do what he wants to do, and the sheriff's not going to do anything about it. The government's not going to do anything about it, and no patriot or military personnel are going to do anything about it. Have you seen that guy?
Do about what?
Bragging about he can dress up as a soldier and there ain't a damn thing anybody can do about it.
Is that the guy who first tried to? Is that the guy who started out initially trying to be the humble, respectful guy, trying to play it off like he was until he got called on it and then he reacted harshly?
I think so. Because I believe I saw a bunch of videos of people calling him out.
Yeah, I'm disgusted by the guy, actually. But, I mean...
I want to whip his ass. I said it. It has nothing to do with Rage Against Regime. It's all about raging and caging Becky Williams, man. I hate that. My brother's ex-military. God rest my soul. My daddy's soul, he was ex-military. My nephew is ex-military. I got uncles and aunts that were ex-military, and I got a niece that's ex-military. I mean, I got a long line of military. My grandfather, my great-grandfather. I mean, I don't know who the hell this guy thinks he is, but that's insulting to me as a family member. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather just tape him up and drop him off at a VFW lodge.
Yeah, right?
Oh, I got better ideas. I got better ideas.
Yeah, but the guys who deserve to give them the payback should be the ones to do it.
People don't understand the camaraderie of the military and how deep the brotherhood runs amongst those people. My grandfather passed away 2 years ago. God rest his soul. But the Marines showed up. The Marines, I didn't even know my family. The Marines, the U.S. military sent Marines to my grandfather's funeral in his honor, and they stood next to his casket during the eulogy. And I swear to God, I watched those Marines cry for my grandfather, and they never knew the man. They never knew the man one day, and they cried their eyes out over his death. And he was an old man who died in his 90s.
Yeah.
I watched tears. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I went to a funeral just like that this year, just a couple months back. My best friend's dad, basically my other pops, died at 95, and he had the military services with his funeral, and I saw that myself, and I was really glad that they actually did that for him because he deserved it. He's a really quiet guy a really humble guy that took care of his whole life. He deserved the funeral he got, and I was proud to be part of it. And I was lucky enough.
I'm sorry. Bill, I'm sorry.
I was lucky enough to look those guys in the eyes, shake their hand, and thank them for doing that for him as well. So, I got to share a little honor in thanking them. Made me feel good.
We do a Choice for Tots every year. My wife and I, for the last. No, we didn't do it this year because we didn't have the means to do it this year. But every year we usually do a Toys for Tots fundraiser, and I don't know. I'm trying to think if we did one last year. Yeah, we did one last year. So we did one the last 4 years. This one we couldn't do it because we didn't have the funds to do it. But we in the last couple of years raised quite a bit of money. And, toys and everything. And the Marines always show up to the Toys for Tots fundraiser that we have, and we take a bunch of pictures. If anybody goes back in my pictures, you'll see, pictures from the Toys for Tots fundraisers that we've done and, with the Marines and everything. And, I mean, we really, really, really love that. I mean, it's very heartwarming to do something like that, to know that you're doing it for the kids and you're doing it with a good cause, being the Marine Corps and, and then being there and, being part of it also. I mean, it's just a really, really good feeling. And then, we work at churches for like Thanksgiving and Easter and Christmas and stuff. We go to the church and we work the food lines and feed the homeless people and stuff. And we started doing that about 4 years ago when my son was about a year old. We started going over there and doing it. And, I wanted to do something different with my family, knowing that we couldn't afford to do what we used to do, and that was to take care of a family. My mother was the one that started it, take care of a family every year at Christmas time and buy them Christmas gifts. And, they would have like a Santa's list and give you a list of everything that they want. And then you go out and buy, like 3 items, 4 items off the list. And then you pay for their meal and, get all the fixings and stuff like that. But since we weren't able to do that any longer, I wanted to do something to give back. So we started, going to the church and working the food lines and everything. And next thing you know, it started off with me, my wife, and one of my stepkids. And then all of a sudden, my other kids started coming, and then cousins of mine and other family members. And we started turning it into a family tradition pretty much that, a group of us, I don't know, about 15 of us or something will go to a church and, and help out at a church. And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that's never done something like that in your life, if you want a life-changing experience, okay, and I don't care how big and how bad you think you are, you go and get in one of them lines and feed them homeless people and go out and serve them coffee, do stuff for them, and, and see how it changes your life and see how many tears come out of your eyes. Because, like I said, I don't care how big and bad you think you are, your whole outlook on life is going to completely change in about a matter of a minute.
Absolutely.
So if somebody wants to do something and change your life and want to do something different at Christmas time and you can't afford to give back, or take care of a family or donate anything or, donate toys to kids, like for Toys and Tots or whatever, go out to one of your local churches that do food drives and feed the homeless at any one of the big holidays.
Absolutely.
Brother, I've got a veteran online that would like to chime in. He's got a little bit to say about stolen valor. I'd like to introduce the panel to Ron. Not only my brother and patriot, he was my security when I was governor. You guys say hi to Ron. Welcome, Ron.
Hi, Becky. How you doing? It's been a while.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. I miss you like crazy. I've got Bobby Ritter, the host of the show. It's his birthday today, so we've been wishing him a happy birthday. We've got Z-Man online. We've got Bill online. We were just talking about the stolen valor and that video that's been circulating around that fat guy, Johnny B., who not only mocks you veterans, but says nobody can do shit about what he's doing, sporting your uniform in public like he was military to get free.
Yeah, but you know what, Becky? It's not just him. It's a growing concern of how many people are doing it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I unfortunately got really bad internet access out where I'm at and haven't really got to see the video much, but I have read some reports about it and things like that, and have seen articles here and there. Yeah, it's a disgrace. When I was in the military, we wouldn't even allow each other to wear our field jacket to the mall. And, now we got clowns that are out parading around, making fun of us. Nah, I don't like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How does that make you feel, brother? I mean, seriously. I mean, does that stir an anger inside of you for idiots like him? I mean, it's bad enough that we're seeing a lot of it. Like Bobby said, I mean, this is becoming an epidemic proportion. We're starting to see, people like this Johnny guy who have complete disregard for the honor of the uniform or what it stands for.
Well, I try to avoid populated places like malls and things like that where you run into, I guess, the plethora of people that are doing it. But I can say that if I was to run into somebody, I'd probably end up needing bail money.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what, we want to thank you and appreciate everything that you've done, and thank you for serving. And you know, you guys don't get enough credit. That's for damn sure. I mean, and you know, we talk about it all the time. You know, the way that the government treats military members when they come home. You know, we hear of so many cases of suicide. There of people, you know, military members that end up homeless. You know, don't have jobs after they had a career in the military. I mean, that just really, really pisses me the hell off. And I don't understand how any member of our military ended up in any homeless shelter or anything that our government can't extend themselves to them. I got a major problem with that.
Well, especially since they're giving all the money to the illegals, we can't seem to stop from coming across the border. But, yeah, I have had to deal with several of those issues that you were talking about with PTSD in my family. You know, my own son is dealing with it. And, you know, it's not easy. He was a tank driver over in Iraq, and he hasn't even told me all of his stories yet. And I'm not sure I know, you know, want to hear them.
Right. Right.
But, yeah, you know, thanks for, you know, the appreciation. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
You guys deserve it. It should be standard. You know what I mean? I don't understand why we don't. Like I said on the pre-show before we jumped on Blog Talk. You know, why is it that football players get paid millions of dollars a year to play a game that they love, that we all learned how to play as kids, whereas we're sending young men to die and get shot for less than minimum wage? Are you kidding me? That's insane.
All right, catch a ball or catch a bullet.
You know, that's the whole thing about it is you should. I find it funny that they can send you at 18 years old overseas to get shot at, but you're not even legally old enough to drink. So you can go get shot for your country, but you can't even have a beer before you do it.
Yeah, right.
It's disgusting.
Something wrong with that.
Friends. I have a friend who I went to the VA hospital with because he used to be 260 pounds. And he asked me to come with him, not as moral support, because this guy was a Marine. I was busting his balls. I said, you know, what are you afraid? He said, no, I need you to hold me back. Because he had 2 bullet wounds, one in the hip, one in the shoulder, and they tried telling him he was making his pain up in his head.
Wow. So what do you think, you know, being a veteran, you know, like you said, you know, you would probably end up hurting one of them, you know, and needing bail money and stuff, but how would you approach somebody that you can actually, you know, spot out of uniform? Here, actually, a better question, how would you actually spot them out of uniform? You know, I noticed that, like, they're wearing, people keep pointing out, like, different boots, you know, like they're wearing a wrong pair of boots that go with, you know, somebody wearing a Desert Storm or whatever. With me not ever being in the military, I wouldn't be able to tell that. So what do you think would be the biggest way?
It's not quite as evident. It's not quite as evident to somebody that doesn't know different uniforms and unit patches and insignias and things like that, you know. You know, I'm a lot more versed with my own unit and stuff like that. I was in the Air Force in a aircraft weapons crew, but you know, you can tell different parts. You know, uniforms are uniform. You should be able to look at it and tell if he's got the right top with the right bottom or the right hat, or if they got way too many patches that, you know, just don't seem to match. An Army patch on one side, a Marine patch on the other, ribbons not in the right place. You know, you see somebody like that, you walk up and you ask them what they're doing. You know, hey, explain. You know, tell me about your uniform. You know, give them a chance to come clean. And if they're like, oh, I never served, say, well, can I ask you? And I'll politely ask them first to at least take it off and carry it or something. You know, and if they want to get mouthy, well, then you dot their I and call for somebody to bail you out. And if enough of us veterans would start doing that, we probably wouldn't see it as often as we do.
Absolutely right.
Well, one of the videos that I saw today, it was actually two police officers that were ex-military that went up to somebody, and they totally noticed this guy was completely out of place. And they went up to him, and they're asking him all these questions, and asking him for his ID. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have my ID on me. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have your ID on you? You're always going to have your ID. And then he's like, oh, yeah. And then they asked him where something else was, and he's like, oh, I don't have that either. I'm sorry, I didn't bring it with me. But I'm an MP. I'm an MP. And they're like, well, where's your MP, patch, and where's this, and where's that? And he's like, oh, I left it all in the car because I didn't want people to, give me a hard time in the mall or whatever. And everything that he was saying, these cops were like, you know what, we should lock your ass up, but we're going to let you go. Maybe you should be in a cuckoo house or something.
Right. Well, those people, that's what it is, really. It seems like it's a mental health problem with those people of some sort. But the only way, like the gentleman we have here on the phone said, is that the only way that we can address this is if, number one, veterans start speaking up a little more. And like he said, you don't have to be aggressive. You just walk up and start questioning them about the uniform, which is how most of these videos start. They ask them a question, and then they can't answer it, or their answer doesn't seem right, or they say this or that or the other, and it ends up turning into an argument, which I don't blame these gentlemen for getting heated for. But for instance, like I wear my father's dog tags sometimes, and I wear camo bottoms. Number one, I don't wear any modern military trying to look like I'm in the military. But number two is I've only had it happen to me once. Somebody saw my dad's dog tags and they asked me if I had served. And the first thing I went out of my mouth was, no, these are my dad's dog tags. I just wear them because I look up to my dad and I like wearing my dad's dog tags. That's about it.
That I would have no issue with.
Exactly.
Right. Not at all.
And I tell people straight up, I've never once said I looked at them and said, oh yeah, I've served. I would never disrespect people that way. And another thing that I'll ask, and it's a little bit off subject, but it goes hand in hand with this, is people, I've seen it too many times, stop asking people who serve in the military to tell you stories about what they've seen. Because number one, you're asking them to rehash very painful events. But number two is that no true operator is going to turn around and say, yeah, I shot a guy in Nam, or I shot a guy in Iraq. Anybody who brags like that, which I've called out many of them, those are the people that I call out more than anything. I've never seen anybody in uniform, but I've called out plenty of guys, oh, I served here, and I shot this guy. I'm like, you're full of crap. Oh, actually, I straight up, you're full of shit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, because a true operator wouldn't brag that he took a life. Taking a life is a solid occasion. And I'll straight up call people out about it.
Yeah, I have some SEAL buddies that are very much the opposite of the guy who would talk about anything. I mean, these guys are quick to throw their Levi's and their T-shirts on when they go out. They don't want to be recognized, and they won't tell stories. And
last thing they want is to be picked out of a crowd.
That's right.
Yep. Can you blame them?
Real SEALs get harassed by the police. They get followed by the cops. If you listen to the story of anybody who knows what happened with Jesse Ventura and the Marines in the bar, the first thing he says is, because he said, I'm not going to get into the details, but basically Jesse Ventura said something to a Marine that pissed him off, and he slapped him in the face. And he said in the interview, as soon as he did that, he knew that there were cops nearby, and he took off running. Real SEALs and real people who do this stuff keep their mouths shut because they know that they're an enemy of the state once they retire.
Well, the SEALs have a big problem with Jesse too. Now, don't get me wrong. To become a UDT guy is a big deal, and the training is intense and it's brutal. But you don't get to call yourself a SEAL just because you passed the Bud School and got in under UDT. That's not a SEAL. I mean,
right.
he could have taken the extra. He could have taken the extra steps had he chosen to. Well, you have three ratings in the SEALs. You have UDT, you have Frogman, and you have SEAL. But Jesse was, trying to take the whole pie and wear it, and it pissed a lot of guys off, especially since he took it on himself to call others out for anything.
Mm-hmm.
He called out Chris Kyle. That's what the problem was, because Chris Kyle called him a liar. Okay?
Well,
Jesse Ventura did underwater demolition with the SEALs.
That's right. UDT.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he did underwater demolition. Like you said, I don't know if he was actually a frogman or
I'm
was
assuming
he?
that's
Because
what
I
they
know he
called
wasn't.
the UDTs.
He was UDT. He wasn't rated as a frogman or as a SEAL, but he was rated at UDT. But that's no small thing. But you don't get to claim the whole package just because you're Jesse Ventura.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. UDT is, that's commemorative in itself, but you can't call yourself a SEAL.
Yeah,
right. Well, he sure calls himself a SEAL all the time.
Former Navy SEAL.
No
maybe
SEAL.
He's got an honorary badge or something.
You know what? They
don't give those.
The funny thing is, most people think, especially SEALs themselves, and most people think that these guys are just mindless killing machines that have no intellect. But in reality, if you watch the documentary, the best example I give people, this guy who was talking about the Marine said, what we're looking for in a SEAL is the simple fact is we're looking for a guy who can go to college and get his PhD and hold his own in a bar fight. You're not dealing with dumbasses. Those are very, very intellectual men.
Yep.
Right.
But I guess what caused Jesse Ventura to be assaulted was that, and this came out of the Marine who was at the altercation. This isn't secondhand information that I read or watched. The Marine who hit him said the reason why he slapped him was because he said, well, you guys are killing people, blah, blah, blah. He didn't agree with the war, and he said, well, and his words were, I may not agree with the war, but I serve my country and I do what it tells me to do. And he said, well, you guys deserve to lose a few. And he slapped him.
Yeah. Well, that deserves a slap.
One of the things I think that we see also with some of the PTSD is that, in the recent conflicts that we have going on now, some of the guys might, attest to this. I'm not sure. I've talked with some who have, but that they're not necessarily serving or being ordered or being regarded by actual military officers in every case. There's a lot of private contractors over there exercising levels of rank who have authority, who are issuing orders, and there's not the same honor and level of dignity and respect with these private contractors as there is within the actual military ranks. And yet these guys have to risk their lives and watch their buddies lose serving these kind of guys.
You're absolutely right. I was once in a documentary about Blackwater, which still operates under a different name because the name Blackwater became so synonymous with all the crap they did. But they were actually ambushing teams of SEALs and everything and making them stand down and drop their weapons just to show how much of a badass they are. And then our guy finally got sick of it and started not backing down and then basically got to the point where if Blackwater troops didn't drop their rifles, they were going to fire on them. So, but the thing is I tried to explain to people our military would never be used against us. No, but there are plenty of military contractors out there who operate outside of the Constitution and have never made any kind of oath to uphold the Constitution. So they don't have to worry about everything because they're operating with impunity because they operate outside of our government.
Oh yeah, we talked about that for the last several weeks so much. That it's really not our government that's making these shots anymore. It's the corporations. But I think the farther they get down their agenda, the less apt they are to actually represent, to even regard the military with any respect. That's kind of where I stepped into this conversation is like the lack of respect that is given to the military now, but especially with the retirement and the homeless and everything that. This corporation is feeding their private contractors here under administration names. Like you have Department of Homeland Security, you've got all of these names, but it's a standing army, and you can bet those guys have a good retirement plan in their package.
Oh yeah.
All these agencies. So they're weakening our military, but they're strengthening their private standing army, and that should make people cautious. We should be concerned about that.
Absolutely.
Well, not enough people are.
Is Ron still there?
You know what?
I'm still here.
So what are you, I mean, amongst your veteran friends and people who may even still be active, what are their thoughts on something like what I just said happening right now?
Oh, there's kind of an awareness going on under the weather, under the radar, if you will. I mean, there's preparations being made. I mean, everybody's just kind of sitting back and waiting for the other boot to drop right now, I guess would be the best way to say it. Without divulging too much information or anything like that. I mean, there's groups that are definitely watching the people that need to be watched.
Right.
It's not going on unnoticed, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Right. I keep holding on to this belief that they're more apt to actually take a stand to correct these bad problems that are dangerous if we finally, as people, get our act together, get a little bit better unified, and make a proper stand.
Well, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Yep.
But with looking at with the demonstrations and the protests and all that stuff that's been going on, I mean, there's no lack of I guess, people willing to protest. We've just got to get the people informed and get them protesting the right things for, the right reasons instead of what they've been doing, and quit listening to the media and doing what they're telling you to do. Quit listening to these race baiters on it's just getting to epic proportions, and it's eventually going to come to a head.
Yeah, it is coming to a head. The only thing that would prevent that is if we just continue doing nothing, and then it's just an outright surrender, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, true enough. I don't want to say I'm wishing for anything to happen or anything like that, but I am also a firm believer that it's going to take something drastic on our own land to really get people to sit up and take attention. And it's not going to be a cop shooting a civilian. It's going to be something where these attacks that are going on, they're going to have to start calling them what they are and quit hiding all the stuff they're hiding. But that's
right,
how do you make that happen is the question.
I hate this program, Block Talk. It's for the birds. It's the audio is so terrible sometimes, and then it likes to bump people a lot, and shut people down, and it's like this is ridiculous.
Is somebody in their car driving with their window down?
No, I'm actually. I'm in my car, but I don't have my window down. I mean, I don't know if you can actually hear like noise from my thing. I mean, I'm in my car tonight, so it actually should be pretty quiet. And you know what? And here, take for instance, I just got a message from Z-Man that he even got muted just now. So here, he got muted. This program,
I thought
Block
the background noise was him, but I guess not.
Maybe it's me.
Could be.
If you got your air vent pointed at your face, it could be that.
Noise?
It's not doing it now.
Yeah, it's not doing it now.
Oh, so then maybe it was him then. But it actually muted him?
Well, yeah, I muted him because I thought the noise was coming from that phone. Hey, I've got Keith on the line. I think Keith wants to say something to you, Bobby. Hey, Keith, how are you doing?
Well, I'm still here. I'm not sure how come, but I'm still here. So, Bobby, I hear you turned 8 years old today.
Yep, sure did.
Oh, boy.
That big number. My son's starting to catch up to me.
Right. They do that.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
They do. Well, it's good to have a happy birthday, though, there.
Thank you.
But I was going to make a couple comments, if you don't mind, real quick on the military deal from a little different point of view. Okay? And not because of who I am, but because of one is because of my age. Because I go back, I'm old enough when the draft was still around. Okay? And I came from a real small town, and of course back then you had to, go through the deal, and you didn't get a choice. You're drafted automatically. But because of my disability, it's really funny because you go to the post office, they get your paperwork, and everyone knew because of my disability. And guy pulled out the stamp, and he said, "Okay, bring it back whenever you want to. You're supposed to bring it back in about 10 days." And he says, "What are they going to do? Put you in prison because you have a disability? Because they won't take you. So I'm out and it came F4. But anyway, from there, then about 20 years later, I started doing stuff for disabilities. And one of the things we had the opportunity to do was back in the era when Lowry Air Force Base was around in Denver, I got to work with a lot of the military boys out there, and we also had a number of people out there with disabilities that work on the base itself. And I just got in the habit of addressing these people by rank, because even though I wasn't part of the military, I just, out of respect to who they were. Well, one of the head colonels that I worked with all the time called me in his office the last time that I was going to be on the base, and because they were getting ready to shut her down at that point in time, and said myself and a couple of other officers here like to, we can't give you any paperwork, but we'd like to at least acknowledge who you are, and at least give you and acknowledge you as an honorary military person because of the respect to you have shown us while you've been here and while your time has been working here. And I thought, well, that's quite an honor. But I said, it's not something I went and I looked for. And they said, no, we can tell that, but you did what you needed to do and how much you've helped us out here in the military and with the computer and everything else. So I said, well, I appreciate that much. So still yet to this day, I still have this habit of when I'm around military, I usually still always address them by rank, still just because of all I've been through. So people got to wake up and realize that these people are a part of our lives, even though they don't realize it. And we wouldn't, a friend of mine several times, just on the last year, came to me, and he made a comment. He says, people get irate with all the military and all this stuff. And he said, ask that person one question. What have you done today for your freedom?
Right.
And, you turn right around and say, I can tell you a lot of people have done a lot for our freedom that we don't even know and don't even have to do it. I said, these people don't even know who we are, but they're on the front lines doing what they can to help us. And I can relate to that from my background. Otherwise, I would train as an EMT, but I can't use it because of my disability. But the first responders, a lot of times they go and risk their necks for people they don't know. And it's the same idea. And we've got to sit down and start realizing that's really what these people put and what they do for us as an individual. And just the last comment with that idea is that most of these people in the military, if you really start figuring out what they get paid less than minimum wage for the work and the service they do for us. So
right.
I'll yield to that.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah, I was in the military the year that Congress tried to vote and didn't succeed in giving themselves the 50% pay raise, and I believe the pay raise we got that year was 2%.
Wow. Wow.
It got me a whopping $400 a paycheck twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting.
After my increase as an E3.
Like he was saying before, there's guys out here, like he was using, for example, people that play any kind of sport or whatever, name whatever sport. Like you said, you learn how to play that as a kid. You grew a passion for it. You kept playing it. You got good enough. You became a pro. You don't deserve $100 million. You don't deserve more money than firemen, policemen, members of the military, people that are out here risking their lives on a daily basis, to protect, to take care of people, to rescue people, whatever, okay? They deserve better money, not these people that are out here, playing the damn sport. We could sell this, we could sell that, we could do this, we could do that, whatever. You know what? It's not worth it. They should not be making that type of money, and it really, really is a shame that owners of teams will give this type of money to these guys, okay? 90% of them are thugs, okay? Got their jewelry, they're all draped up in jewelry. They can't sit down and do an interview. You ever try to listen to an interview when they try to interview with one of these guys? It's like talking to, I don't even know. It's like talking to somebody straight out of the ghetto, okay? It just doesn't make any sense why they give them the type of money that they give them and not give it to people like yourself that served in the military, that risked your life, went overseas, was away from your family for a long time and everything else. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You know why that is? Because they know that the men and women who come back after seeing what they see would end up using that money to put an end to it. And they want to keep these guys in the dark. They want to make these guys into enemies. I mean, my own father, he served in the 80s, in the Air Force, as a military police officer. Now, I'm 26 years old. I have a spotless criminal record. Never gotten in trouble in my life, never even been near a cop car. Now, I can walk into a gun shop, and I already have. I own a Mossberg 500 pump 12 gauge. Now, I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm a gun owner. And it seems like here in New York, you're demonized if you're a gun owner. Anyway, my point is that I walked out of that gun shop in 15 minutes here in New York. So the gun laws aren't as crazy as everybody likes to make it out to be, but still. My father gets held up for a week because he's ex-military.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's stupid. My father was ex-military in the 80s, before I even existed, and they still give him a hard time. And he was honorably discharged because of a broken ankle.
Well, it's sad. It's sad that our military members come home from overseas or wherever they were, stationed, and they come home and, they get treated, they get put on lists, that there's some kind of terrorist, and then, like we were talking about, the situations where they're homeless, where guys are trying to commit suicide, their wives left them. I mean, it's just not right, okay? It's not right. And especially the way that our military gets treated by the government. They got them on terrorist watch lists and everything. Are you kidding me? You people are the ones that created these people.
They used
creating them.
If you were taking over another country, what element of that country would be your greatest enemy?
The insurgents.
They're military.
Right.
So that's what we're seeing.
Well, that's the whole thing. My buddy, they used that to intimidate my friend into re-enlisting. I'm not going to mention his name, but he knows who he is. And he said that he messaged me a couple months ago, and he said, he's like, because I pretty much tried to convince him to get out of there while he could. And I was telling him, get out of the military now, man. Your contract's up. Just retire. And all of a sudden, he sent me a text message saying that they're telling him that if he leaves, then he's going to be considered an enemy of the state, because what they train these men to do in warfare is go in and take out the infrastructure of a country, take it down, and then rebuild it. So these gentlemen have skills that scare the hell out of the government.
Well,
I don't know. Have you ever come into
too much syndrome? It becomes a you know too much syndrome. We trained you how to do all this, and now that you're not on our team anymore, now you're a threat.
Exactly.
Right. Well, have you ever had a situation like that where, you know, you were treated as such, you know, being a vet and everything?
What was that?
No, I was asking the gentleman that's a vet, I was asking him if he's ever had that situation before where he was treated as such, you know, where people might have treated him funny, or, you know, maybe he was trying to go get a gun and maybe they, you know, had some kind of special list, or, you know, it was a longer waiting process or whatever, you know, because of his military background.
Well, fortunately, since I live in Texas, every weapon I have in my possession has either been bought at a gun show or been gifted or private sale. So nothing I have is registered. I have never had to deal with that, thank God. But
yeah, thank God.
I do know guys that have had to wait what you would consider a unnecessary amount of time to get something you would consider trivial.
Right.
So yes, even here in Texas, you do have to deal with it if you try to go through the quote unquote proper channels.
Well, not if Becky would have been your governor. You sure wouldn't have put up with that. You wouldn't have had them problems.
No, I sure as hell would not have. And that's why I'm not governor. The government knew I wouldn't put up with their dookie.
Bullets in every bread box, baby.
I mean, I agree.
Man, what do you? We're talking about free bullets for Christmas, July 4th. I mean, it would have been endless gifting by the new governor and presidente of Texas.
Yeah, I'll bring something up here. A story that's going on here. I'm sure everybody's aware of this, but there's a story going on here in my home state of New York about those two police officers who were killed as retribution for Michael Brown and that Garner gentleman. Now, it's frankly insane that this is starting to happen in the first place. But I'm living in a state where, I mean, it doesn't happen up here in the upper parts of the state, but down in the 5 boroughs, they have a stop and frisk law. It doesn't matter what race you are, although the statistics show that it's typically African American young men who are being stopped. But anybody can now just be stopped and searched without warrant.
Hey, brother, we've got a caller on the line, 731 area code. Who have I got? 731 area.
This is Yogi Bear.
Hey, Yogi. Welcome to the panel, my brother. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Bobby, happy birthday.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I hope you're having a good birthday.
Well, it'll get better. You know, can't get no worse. Can't get no worse, so the only way I can do is try to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Has anybody heard about this red flag thing about ISIS is going to blow up the Memphis, Tennessee River Bridge? They've got a Fed warning out on the Memphis, Tennessee Bridge.
Oh, really?
Going across the Mississippi River. That's a threat level 5. It's a threat level 5.
You know, that's interesting, too.
And I think it's a red flag myself because about 6 years ago I watched the military and the Navy SEALs do an exercise on the bridge where they went in and they had trucks parked that had explosive rode on the sides of them. They stayed and had helicopters and stuff and divers in the water and everything for about 3.5 hours, and then when the trucks started to leave, they pulled off their explosive signs off of their trucks and then left the area. So,
another interesting thing about where that is, it's something that we brought up but we never really talked about before, is that the Mississippi River underwent another one of those unlawful, maybe Agenda 21 interior things that are happening, is that the UN actually has policing authority on the Mississippi River. Go figure how that could happen.
Yeah.
Agenda 20.
Those
Well,
signs are posted too.
Well, when I was out in Hawaii last spring, my buddy that lives there kept pointing out at all these beaches along the shoreline to me, Captain Cook Beach and another one up north of the airport and all that. And he says, man, the whole time I've been living here, which has been a considerable amount of time, he said that's always been public area. We could go down there, we could go partying, camping, spend days there. Nobody would say a word. He said they gave it all to the UN. It's now owned by another country, and you now have to pay to get on it. No more camping, no more animals, no more, they hate it.
Yeah, well, they do these things, but they're not entitled to it. I mean, it's just like a mafia coming in and taking over your business and claiming that it's actually theirs. They're just taking it. They have no right to it.
The UN is everywhere, brothers and sisters. The UN is all over the place. In California,
I live in California. Yeah, I live in California.
They've got over 500 UN vehicles sitting at a abandoned military post. In Florida, they have another 1,000 or so UN vehicles sitting at another abandoned military post. There is UN vehicles scattered all over this country waiting to be used. I know I've showed footage of the UN vehicle trains where they're moving them around, armored vehicles and stuff like that. And I've also posted several times, but I haven't been able to find it recently because Facebook takes off a lot of my postings. But I have posted a trainload of armored vehicles with a crescent star painted right on them.
I've seen that.
Which, you seen it?
Yeah.
So, they're preparing something to come in and do because we're seeing too many blue hats around, like the other brother there was saying.
There's been reports of helicopters flying overhead in the Houston area, in Becky's area, and in California, I believe, where you can see them doing urban drills, fast roping down out of black helicopters with no lights on into parts of the city that they've cautioned off. They've also been finding training grounds that are either being used at the moment or they find them abandoned later on, but they're full-on towns that look like American towns with churches, no mosques, all simulated to be American land. It's got stop signs and stuff, all signs in English. So they're preparing for something on our own soil. My own friend was sending me pictures of himself in full-on mop gear, and they're making them run around and train with rifles and gas masks and chemical suits. Why the hell are they making them train like that? That's never been part of their average training before. So
right, they're doing urban warfare training. And the UN and other countries are involved. People think that we're into cahoots, that we're mad at Putin, Russia and stuff, but yet Russians still train on American soil, and so does the British, and so does a lot of other countries train right here on American soil. So, it's not our military really that we're going to have to face down. Initially we will, but it'll be the foreign invaders, the foreign countries, China that's been doing urban warfare training here, and all those people, Taiwan, South Korea. I mean, you can find all this stuff on the internet, on national news media. I mean, it's not a made up. It's not something that somebody's pulled out their rear and throw it out there. If you do your research, you can find all this out, and something is coming down very, very quickly. And I think that's why they're militarily right. I can't say that word, but militarizing our sheriffs and our police departments with all this federal surplus armored vehicles and M16s and all that. But I don't think these people understand, like the cops and the sheriffs and stuff, that they're just going to use them for a short time, and then they're going to be in the same situation as us citizens are going to be in.
I saw a video. Well, my hometown up there in southeast Iowa, a little town of about 8,000 people, just got their own brand new, fully equipped Cayman last summer. I want to know why.
Wow. Actually, they found a video. I saw a video recently. An officer slipped up, didn't realize he was being recorded, and he said, "Oh, well, we have a lot of constitutionalists stockpiling guns," and then you couldn't really hear what he said after that. Was it?
Yeah, that was in Washington State.
So yeah, they're getting ready to come in and say, "Well, you know what? Your rights don't matter anymore."
Well, see, these are the things that are behind the reasoning and the quick acceleration by the Oath Keepers, for example. They created those CPTs, the Community Protection or Community Preparedness Teams, and it was to prepare for these very scenarios. And I've been on this very strong belief that we should use that skeleton. We should use what the Oath Keepers have set up as the CPTs, but integrate it with all of our different, and create the unity, finally uniting all of these people, but combine it with the militias, with the United Patriots, the 3%ers, and put everybody else into that, and then it becomes something that we can actually utilize. And then you get all of the neighborhood people who aren't a member of a militia. They might not be a United Patriot. They may not even be preppers yet, but all of a sudden they feel protected in their neighborhood. They see their neighbors getting involved, and suddenly you have recruitment of people who aren't involved suddenly joining militias and expanding our numbers. Wow. So anyhow,
hey guys,
down now.
Let's bring Jim in. Jim's here. Let's bring him in for a second. He wants to join the conversation.
Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Good evening, folks. I'm sitting here playing with my new studio. And Merry Christmas to you all, and Happy Hanukkah as well, Bobby and Becky and other guests. What a wild week, huh?
Absolutely.
Sure
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah. Crazy week.
Crazy.
Well, let me tell you something. In my consultations, Bobby, since you invited me in, the one thing that I have here on my clipboard, blotter, or whatever you'd like to call it, and with consulting with a very small but trusted group of attorneys across this country, what the hell was the outcome of the 20 sheriffs in Washington, sir?
Good question.
That's
what
what
was
I'd
the
like
outcome?
to know.
Is that what you're asking, what the outcome is?
Yeah. Yes, and collectively, that's why I'm rebroadcasting you now here, and we all have our day jobs and everything, but we all try to keep in touch. And if I leave you, you will know that I've left you, because I've said I'm leaving you. I will never leave this group. But at the end of the day, folks, I preached the gospel in the past few days, and I'm faced with that question, and my jaw, I'm not saying I lose credibility. I'm saying, we are casting doubt on our representatives going in and not delivering to us the outcome of said conversations, folks. Am I in line there? I think I am.
Well, I can tell you the accomplishment.
And thank you
of
for
what the
inviting me,
sheriff did.
Bobby, and I yield.
Okay, I can tell you what the sheriffs did. Okay, you can tell me what the sheriffs did too. We can all tell each other what the sheriffs did, but nobody knows what the sheriffs did because it was behind closed doors, and nobody's telling anybody anything, which we said from the beginning we didn't like. It was a bad damn idea. You're going there representing the people. You're representing us. This should be a wide open conversation, and we should know everything that's being said from beginning to end. You're there representing us, representing the people. So going behind closed doors just tells me that we're in a lot of trouble. Because if we don't know what they were talking about, who knows what the hell is really going on?
Hey, Becky.
I fully agree, Bobby. Yes, sir, I do, and I yield. Go ahead, sir.
Becky, are you there? I gave Becky Denny Payman's phone number, one of these sheriffs. She can either call him and invite him on the show, or I'll call him, and you can ask directly. But I can tell you one thing that didn't happen, which should have happened, because an example opportunity was created for people to start getting behind their sheriffs who would be willing to go anywhere and try to get some of the unification that's going to be necessary with the counties and with the states. Ultimately, at some point, we're stronger if we have that. But I don't see people. I mean, everybody has just basically fallen back, and it's like, well, what are they doing? Well, we're doing nothing, just wanting them to answer for what they've done. But there was an opportunity, an invitation for people to kind of get behind their sheriffs, ask the questions to them directly, or give them questions that they want asked on their behalf, or just find a way to get the ones to step up and sign on to their oath, or show that they're not part of it. But I just don't see us doing enough of our part either. But I'll call Denny if Becky doesn't. I'll even invite him to come on the show, and we'll see what they have to say. Although some of what they did behind closed doors that I've already spoken with them about was that they wanted to make sure that these people understood how they felt about. It was mostly about the illegal immigration. How they felt about the additional burden of crime that occurred because of it in all their areas, what it costs them, and their opposition to it, and what, if it continues, they're prepared to do regardless of any kind of federal mandates, statutes, wishes, or grants that they're going to take on themselves to do. So they kind of fired a fair warning in one area. The other areas I haven't had a chance to talk with them about, but I know that people aren't making it a point of considering the sheriff a very usable friend. Now, of course, there are some bad sheriffs out there, but it'll be quick to recognize who those are. But the good sheriffs, we definitely need to start making an attachment.
That is correct.
Especially considering the recent developments.
What's that?
Right. Especially considering recent developments and all that, you definitely need to make sure that the police know that we're on their side. Ultimately.
Yeah. A lot of those guys are attached also, once again, that comes up, to those Oath Keepers community preparedness teams.
Right.
They're radio networked in, and they have a communications plan.
Well, I've actually been in contact with people to try to get Sheriff Mack on. It's been kind of a complicating situation to do it. But I've been in contact with people. Huh?
I've had him on a couple shows before with other shows, yeah.
Right.
It depends on his schedule.
I like him. I like Sheriff Mack. He's one of the only ones that I've actually sat back and really listened to and thought that he was really, really knowledgeable and pretty much told the people the truth and wasn't really trying to hide too much. You know what I mean?
Well, if you like him, you're going to love Denny Payman out of Kentucky. That guy's one of the only guys that not just talks the talk, but he definitely walks the walk. He's the sheriff that will go in and pull a judge off the bench for violating their oath.
Are you
He's the
serious?
guy that will actually, I swear this on my life, that these are the things that he does. And this is
I'd
what
love to have somebody like him on.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we had a group of them on one of our shows.
Yeah.
Whose car's up?
I don't know. I hear it too. Whoever it is needs to mute themselves or whatever.
Or just don't put the key until the door's closed.
Yeah, something. Do something. Jesus.
But we had a group of them, and I liked all of them. But Denny Payman was the only guy that actually came right out and listed all of these actual actions against people who kind of consider themselves aside or above the laws, including judges, where he's gone in and removed them from the bench, city officials, counsel for violations of oath, and several other things that they've done. Unjustly violating the rights of the people within the communities or their courts, and he's actually stepped up with the notary or the clerk and taken these people out.
Well, that's
you know,
like in my
if
county.
you would.
Oh, God. That's the duty of the sheriff.
That's
I was
like
going
in
to
my
say, if you
county.
would, invite him. Please, by all means.
You know, a sheriff can exercise a warrant, a lawfully authoritative one, with a notary to a much more compelling degree than a judge can off of his bench. It's with notary and official documentation exercising his lawful authority has a much more supreme position in the law than a judge does, especially judges under statute, which all these corporate courts are nowadays. They're not even exercising the common law of the land. So, you know.
Well, the sheriffs in our county and surrounding counties here where I live, they have made it plain and clear that they are not constitutionalist sheriffs. I live in one of the most corrupt parts of the country, I think, that there is, which is Tennessee. I live in West Tennessee, which we're divided in three parts. But they honestly have came out publicly and said that they are not constitutionalists, that they get paid by a paycheck, and that paycheck tells them what to do.
Well, I would have a problem with them, and they wouldn't be my sheriff, I can tell you that. Because if they don't uphold the Constitution, there would be some way that I'd be getting them out. It would be either by force or course, because the Constitution is what they should be running by. Not whatever the hell they feel like doing.
Well, here they do whatever the hell they feel like doing, and they uphold whatever laws they feel like doing. They uphold laws for certain people that they don't uphold for other people.
I have a problem with
it is here.
Tennessee
is
turning it to Little Islam anyway. So you guys are in serious trouble down there, brother.
Hey, Becky, while you were gone,
Tennessee has, if I'm not mistaken, has 4 mosques in Tennessee now. If I'm not mistaken.
Super mosque. You have a super mosque, and you guys have a terrorist training camp there, and you also have a little area that is
Becky, a super mosque? It's like a super Walmart? I'm sorry, my friend, but I love y'all, Becky. I just wanted to say hello.
It is a humongous mosque. She's right. It is. It takes up over 10 acres. The mosque does.
Yeah.
That tells you how many Muslims you have right there, brother. If you want an indication of how many Muslims are in your city, you can start counting the mosque. I'm in Arlington, Texas. Before the invasion, we had a population of just under 300,000 people, and we have 13 mosques. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, it tells me a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill's trying to tell you when you were gone, he was telling us about a sheriff that he's going to invite on.
Okay.
Or you can do that, Becky. I gave you Denny Payman's phone number.
Oh, yeah, I've got Danny's number. I'll invite him on, but why don't you talk to him since you have camaraderie with him? You co-host the show with us and bring him on.
All right, and we'll let him bring any of the other guys on that he wants to, including maybe Sheriff Mack.
Absolutely, and
That'd
I'll
be
keep it
awesome.
clean. I won't use the N-word, the W-word, and I won't call Obama a Muslim scumbag mole, goat humping.
All right, enough.
I won't do any of that.
You could be yourself, but maybe even have ask him or Mac about bringing in Stewart, and they can let people know if they're already tying the sheriffs in with their community preparedness teams.
I'd like to do that. I definitely would like to get some inquiry there as to see how developed they are in their own areas, doing exactly that.
Yeah, because besides my bodyguard, I'm going to start putting all of my attention in the community preparedness teams because we need to get that unification. It has to happen. We got to get these militias and all these patriot groups together, and that's a good skeleton.
I agree.
The best of all of them can influence each other.
We don't have one here, and we don't have a militia here in West Tennessee. And Becky, since
you have Oath Keeper, you have Oath Keeper organizations and charters in Tennessee.
Yeah, but I need
I need
to know how to get in touch with them, and I need to know how to get the ball rolling on a militia here.
Is this
Yogi? You've got the airway right here. You're being streamed live. I'm sure we have some folks from Tennessee that may be listening in, or no folks in Tennessee. You guys that are listening in, if you're not from Tennessee, you have folk in Tennessee that are with those organizations. Do us a favor. Do Yogi a favor. Can you guys connect him? Yogi, give out your Facebook real quick, brother.
It's Yoga Bear, YOGA Bear, BEAR, and there's several of them out there, but you'll know me. There'll be a picture of George Washington with red and white stripes as my picture, which is actually a picture of the front of a pocket-size Constitution and Bill of Rights.
I'll get a link over to you, Yoga, that'll have all of the different charters. And you can tap into that.
Okay.
Joe, would you do me another favor while you're on here, brother, while I'm thinking about it? You folks that can contribute to Yoga's fundraiser, please do so. Give in the spirit of Christmas and to help out another patriot. He has a legitimate fundraiser. His house burned down on November the 19th. He had no insurance on it. He's on an income level, where he depends on and only gets so much money a month. If you folks could please help our brother out. I contributed the other day as well as some other patriots, but we're trying to get him to at least $500, for God's sake, so that the fundraiser company will actually start promoting him outside of his own perimeter. Yoga, could you please give the folks direction as to how to find your fundraiser, brother?
They have to manually type it in, and it's www.gofundme.com/Yoga Bear, YOGABEAR.
Do it again. Say it one more time, brother.
It's www.gofundme.com/Yoga Bear, YOGABEAR, all in one word.
Even $5, $10, $10, whatever you can do would be a great help to this man. He lost everything in the fire.
I just friended you. I just friended you, Yoga. I just friended you on Facebook. Just this very second.
Bobby, go back up, brother. I'm sorry. I wanted to plug him real quick.
This is also.
Thank you very much.
Spelled out. It's on his Facebook page. You can just click. You can go on his Facebook page, scroll down, and click right to it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That are on Becky's page. It's on Becky's page. It's on Manny Vega's page. It's on Jamie's page. Any of you guys out there that have any of the bells of Florida or the bells of America, it's on their page also.
Liberty Bells.
So I last night I put it on the Patriot group open page and closed page. So, and it's also on, if you look for a page called Pissed Off Chicks, Pissed Off Chicks, if you go there, it's on their page. They allowed me to share it on their page also, so it's not hard to find. But
all right, brother, we appreciate it.
And I appreciate it, Becky and Bobby and Manny and Jamie and Tracy and all the people that have donated to me so far. I really do appreciate it, guys. I really do.
For you, I'll squeeze some more out for you after the holiday. All right.
All righty. I appreciate it. But I was able to post it on your page, Becky. So.
Yeah, I settings so you could do that. Listen, I'm still in Facebook jail for committing the heinous crime of exercising my First Amendment right to my opinions and voice them. Yeah, so I'm still in jail. Could y'all send me some commissary money? I need toilet paper.
Do you want Charmin or what kind do you use?
John Wayne toilet paper. Only the best will do.
And bar soap. Yeah, I need to carve out a key, so anybody that can send me a bar of ivory.
With a rope on it.
And all right. I love you, brother, man. Good luck with that. Merry Christmas to everybody. I know we're coming down to the 12-minute mark. Bobby, is there anything else you'd like to bring up as subject? Bobby, this is your content.
He's blowing out candles again.
Yeah.
Taking another can of rum.
I hope nobody sent him a soap on a rope.
No, don't bend over.
Oh. He's all lathered up. I'll never get him back.
If you drop your soap, just leave it there.
Right. Exactly.
It ain't worth it.
That's right. It's not worth it.
He's making the switch from the phone to the home computer. He just texted me. So he'll be back momentarily.
He's running off taking a shot of vodka.
That's what's happening. You know, if he's a drinking man, he deserves a shot of vodka. He had a hell of a day today. I would tell you that much free. He did not have a good day so far. I hope his wife's got something good waiting for him when he gets home. That's all I can say.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Seriously, man, there's a brother right there that needs a little TLC. He's had a tough one today. Hey, I got a question. So we still don't have any clue, obviously, what the any outcome, if there was any at all, of progression with the sheriffs that went into D.C. behind closed doors.
Yeah, you were gone. We were talking on that.
Yeah, did we not do? And I apologize. I had to cage the beast. He was barking. Did we not even know what subject matter was that was covered?
Yeah, we know part of it. What had to do with the illegal immigration and how it's affecting the counties and local law enforcement throughout the nation in all these different areas, and how they're actually opposed to it, and that if these problems continue, that they're going to exercise their authority in those areas and completely disregard all the federal statutes, considerations, privilege, mandates, and all the rest of this crap that's going on. And they basically sent a warning just regarding that particular situation, that this is going to be the stand, probably with all things, but certainly with regard to this particular unlawful act.
Well, I have a question on that as well. Why did they give a reason as to why they did not address the tyranny or the unconstitutional and unlawful, unjust acts?
Well, they did regarding the amnesty. They did regarding amnesty. Anything further than that, that's why I was suggesting having Denny Payment on the show, because we can ask him those questions directly.
Okay, that's
because I only know a little bit that I got to speak about, and mostly what I was able to talk about was regarding the amnesty and the effect that it has on all the local environments that these sheriffs aren't going to tolerate anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what kind of effect it has on me. I'm ready to kill a bitch when I'm out in public these days. You know, it angers me beyond belief, and it's causing me some serious PTSD. You know, I'm having some serious problems with what I'm actually witnessing in my city. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's very stressful for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Hey, I've lived in California, in Southern California, where we've been living under what the rest of the nation is starting to see for 30 or 40 years already.
Yeah, you are. You are.
You know, it's been that way here for a long time, and it's not good. It used to be a pretty cool situation when California had a certain pact with Baja California. We used to have a completely and fully open border. You could cross that thing back and forth just like you were crossing the street, and it was actually not a bad thing. I mean, you didn't need a passport. You went back and forth. Migrant workers came up. They did their job, and then they went back home again. But then they started closing that off. That particular arrangement was changed. We had a bunch of illegal immigration, and everything started going to hell, as the state itself did here. And it became the same thing that the rest of you guys are seeing, only it happened here 30 years ago.
Well, you definitely need to get that sheriff on here where we can ask him more details about what all they did talk about. But I'd like to throw out one more thing for me, please.
Sure.
If somebody happens to have, in the Tennessee area, happens to have a travel trailer that they'd like to donate, or a shipping container, or one of those, pre-made sheds or whatever that they'd like to donate, that would be great. And one more thing, probably I shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm going to anyways. I had a Dempsey AR-15 that burned up in my house, and all my other guns did. If somebody would just like to give that as a present or something, would be greatly appreciated. I won't tell how many rounds I have for one, but I can hold back a small army.
Hey,
so if somebody would just like to donate things, that would be great too.
Are you friends with Marshall Nicely in Tennessee? He's one of the principals for Prepare to Take America Back and White America History Month.
No, I don't think I am.
Okay. Have you posted your GoFundMe on Prepared?
On Prepared? No.
Prepare to Take America Back. I'll see if I can friend you guys, and he's a neighbor to you, sort of, and maybe you guys can work something out.
Okay. Okay, that'll be great.
I can testify to that lead right there. He's a good guy.
What's that?
Okay.
What was that?
That's all I need to know.
I can testify to that hookup. He's a good guy. He really is. I'm
Marshall
going to be speaking. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking at the event in April if we're still a nation. I've been invited to speak at their event and the White History Pride Month event in Fort Worth Stockyards, April 4th. Close the deal today.
Yeah, are you still going to try to get me out there somehow or another, Becky, or
Absolutely.
is that possible?
I'd love to have you. Yep, I'm going to work on it. If I have to come and drag you out there kicking and screaming or hire 2 midgets to haul you down here, we're going to get you here.
Okay. I'd appreciate that. I'd like to be there.
That's
really
with the American Freedom Party, right, Becky?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, anything y'all want to shoot to me, anybody that anybody that you think I need to be in contact with, that y'all trust or whatever, shoot it to me. If you're not already my friend, everybody knows Becky Williams, so go on there. I'm on her page. Just click on Yoga Bear and then send me a friend's request. I don't usually take strangers, but if I start getting a lot of invites, then I'll know it's from you guys. And
I just did that just a few minutes ago, Yoga, for Bill D. Girolamo.
Okay. And I certainly appreciate that.
Becky, since I'm on my phone and not my computer and scrolling on a friend suggestion will take forever, especially going to an M or a Y. If you're on your computer, can you do a friend suggest with Marshall and with Yoga?
I can't. I'm in jail. They won't let me do anything. I caught a felony.
That's right.
Yeah, and I need to do me right, because this big black lady here in my cell that's missing all her teeth trying to make me her woman, and I don't want to be in here anymore.
You can PM it to me, though.
I can PM it, you bet. I can do that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can still PM. So PM.
Yeah, you haven't flashed out of that yet, have you, Becky?
What, sir?
You haven't flashed out of that yet, have you? PM.
Hey, I'm back. I have a question. I'm at
sorry,
home.
I didn't see. Hello.
Yeah, I'm at home, and I'm trying to listen online, and I was trying to join the show online. Anybody have any idea what the hell do you do when you're in Blog Talk?
No. I think because I am the monitor today for the board, I don't think that you could impede my highway. And I apologize. I'm not on the computer. I'm on my tablet, and it's retarded. If I don't scroll when we have a bunch of lines open, I don't see you pop up. And I just thought, it sure has taken him a long time. Maybe his wife made him a cake.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
no, but I'm serious.
Yeah,
I'm here online. I'm on the Blog Talk site. Yes.
Bobby, we was hoping that maybe your wife was preparing you a special birthday present for tonight.
Yeah, so was I.
we were rooting for you, brother. I mean, we were all about it. It's true.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, don't worry. She left. She's off to the store. So anyway, here we are. So I'm on my cell phone, which I did not want to do. Crap. But I'm actually trying to I was trying to get in and wait a minute, maybe I could do it this way. I don't know, I just wanted to go online and be able to get on that way, direct connect, but now here I am, I'm in the board. Wow, this looks pretty cool when everybody's on here and you're in the board.
That's awesome. Are you in? Can see it?
Here, you know what, I'm going to try to do this. Just it says I can call a guest. So I wanted to see if I could actually direct connect and get on the show like I'm calling it. But it says I can call a guest. Wow, that's pretty cool. It says I can call a guest. Well, maybe I can call myself. You know what? Let me see.
It could happen.
Let me see. Let me see if I can do that. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well,
the wonders of technology.
Here, let's see. Let's see if it allows me to. Yep, it's calling me.
I can hear the ringing myself.
You could be a regular radio guy.
Let me go to the other line. Let me go to the other line. All right, let's see if it works.
Sure does.
Yeah,
I don't hear nothing coming through. Oh, I know why.
We're going to miss that wind blowing through your car window, though.
Oh, well, that was a waste. I thought maybe you guys would be able to hear me through my speakers, but I guess not.
I'm surprised when you're driving through Chicago with your windows down while on the radio that we don't hear a bunch of gunshots in the background.
Yeah, right.
Ah, that's not funny. Hang on, let me hang up on this one here. Hang on.
We ought to run through the streets in
New
York. I'm watching these protesters who have refused to yield to a request not to protest tonight. I wish I had a diesel truck like yours, Bobby. I'd run their asses over. You hear me?
Yeah.
I would. Man, I'd go right down through there. I'd just mow about as many as I could run over until the truck broke. These people are full-on idiots.
And for you people that have Dish Network, they took off Fox News. Newsmax is a good news organization to listen to. They've actually, yesterday we was watching it and actually got to see the protest and stuff in Washington on Newsmax.
Yeah, they took that and the Fox Business Network down.
Yeah. I guess Obama decided to do that for them. That sucks because I have Dish. Yeah, Obama.
Now, I'm looking at these professionally done signs, and at the bottom, I can't read it all, but at the bottom, there's a lot of money going into this. At the bottom, there's websites and the name of the organizations that are participating in this. I've just seen at least 8 signs with different organization names at the bottom, but I can't make them out because my ass is blind, I guess. I don't know. But there's a lot of money that's sunk into this because these signs are all, it costs a lot of money to print your signs up. Ask me how I know.
How do you know, Becky?
Well, because I ran for governor of Texas, and I almost had a coronary whenever they quoted me prices on signs. So I know that these people, there's millions marching across America carrying the same kind of signs. A, that tells me, being the genius that I am, that they're all connected. And B, it tells me that there's some serious money paying some of these professional protesters to be out in the streets organizing this thug bullshit. And so I'm looking at it right now in New York, and there are millions. Shame on you, patriots, for not being able to do the same damn thing. We had to do a counter, you guys. We had to do a counter against the idiots, hands up, the po-po killing everybody because we're colored. We had to do a pro-police officer march. I disagree with the bad police just like everybody else, and I've had an encounter before with a rude-ass cop that I actually called to help my sister who was being beaten by her boyfriend. He treated us like dirt when he got there. I've been in that situation, and also, again, when a man was beating on my daughter and harmed my granddaughter, the cop that showed up, ran his mouth at me. He was an asshole. I've dealt with cops like that, okay? And I disagree with their attitude, and I do know we have bad cops. Listen, we have a whole lot of good police officers out there putting their life on the line, and we should be supporting them and not allowing this protest that has gotten out of hand over a thug-ass porch monkey didn't say the M word, okay? Thug who got out, wanted to kill a cop, had a criminal history, and he did not have his hands up. You know what I'm saying?
Brown did not have his hands up.
We need to stop this. This is crap. It's bull. But we need to call for the police officers who have done or been guilty of an unjustifiable homicide. We need to demand that those folks be held accountable for their actions as criminal and suffer the same sentence that anybody else would for that crime, period.
Well, you know what's wrong with the justice system, Becky?
Sir.
Becky, what's wrong with the justice system is that the fact that it is that the internal investigations are by cops, for cops. So that is wrong.
Well, no, you're correct, but I did find this out. I have another problem with that, not just the internal investigation. That should be a common law grand jury investigation, in my opinion. But did you know that any time there is a homicide that involves a police officer, that they are to be reported to the FBI? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, under that corporate bullshit, sure.
Pardon?
Under that corporate redirection, sure. Again, it boils down to we just have to remove that corporate element and get back to the constitutional republic. None of these normal things are any business of federal overseers. And the only reason we're seeing these problems, including these protests, is because they're designed to cause a bigger problem, and they're working.
Correct.
But
yeah,
correct.
Yeah. And what pees me off is if the government does something wrong, it's an internal investigation by their own selves. And another thing that pees me off is that they don't follow the Constitution anymore. They make their own laws up. And the other thing that pees me off is the fact that they have turned this country, the government is a corporation now, and they're giving banks billions and billions of dollars to supposedly help people make businesses, create businesses, but the banks are holding on to the money. They should be made to pay all that money back to us taxpayers, and that would knock the deficit way, way down if all that money that was given to them for a reason to allow people to start businesses up, and the banks are keeping the money. If they're going to keep the money and give it to the CEOs, then all that money should be jerked back from them, and they should have to repay all that money. We're not corporate America.
The debt exists because the banks create the money and they issue it as usury. It's a debt. It's created as a debt, and it's stuck on us as a debt. Whether they're taking it or giving it, every time the money moves, it adds to the debt pile, and we pay the interest on it and the rest of the crap. It's a big scam. It's a big scam.
Yes, it is.
You get rid of them
it's not even constitutional.
Well, you get rid of them altogether with a fake corporation pretending to be the government, and these problems go away. So do stupid protests. We can't see. There's another risk here. If we start denying these fools for their foolish protests, we basically, and it's just psychological now. They want as much of this to happen as the problems that can occur where they have to go in and martial law. But the other side of that coin is that they want us to speak up against their protesting while we still want to walk out and have ours.
I don't want to do it like that. I just want to counter it. You know what I mean? If they have the right to do that, we ought to have the right to counter it.
But I would rather remove the cause that's creating these facades.
Oh, I agree.
The fake scenario. Yeah. If we're going to have a protest, let it be over a reality instead of a game plan that takes us out of fixing the problem.
Yeah, that's why all the groups, all the patriot groups out there and all the Oath Keepers need to get together, make a plan, stick to that plan, and everybody that's in those groups go at one time. This one group goes in and there's only 20 or 60 of them, and then a couple of weeks later another group goes in, there's 20 or 60 of them. That's not working. All the groups need to come together, all the Oath Keepers need to come together and go in there all at one time. It's too much confusion.
They need to get their communities together. They need to get their communities together before they do that.
I agree, because it's coming.
Because then we're not going to be walking into a protest. We're going to be walking into a reformation.
Right.
Right. Well,
that's
you know what? Let me. I'm going to go because I'm going to jump in the shower and stuff. And I was actually going to set up a Spreaker show and do it online. And I'm going to be quite honest. I have no idea what the hell is what when you're doing it online. So I think I'm just going to leave that alone because their dashboard is very, very confusing. So I'm just like,
brother, let's close the show out. We've already gone a little bit over our time anyway. You've got something to do.
Yeah, we're pretty far over.
And I'm cooking chili, and I'm going to have to run to the store. I need a couple of ingredients. I'm hungry. Happy birthday, brother. I didn't send you a stripper for your birthday because I didn't want your wife to come and beat me up. So there's not going to No, I'm just saying.
She would have to be here to do that. So. Oh,
my bad. All right, brother, I love you. Happy birthday. Thank you for all the panel that showed today and your support.
Good night, all, Becky. Merry Christmas.
All right,
Merry
thanks
Christmas
for everybody.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for everybody.
Thanks for having me. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Versus you.
All righty. Thank y'all.
Hey, Becky, I'm going to probably give you a call tomorrow.
That'd be great, brother. I look forward to it. I love you. Hug the family for me. Tell Becca I said it's time for us to go have a cold beer.
I sure will, and it's way past time for that.
I know, right. All right, I love each and every one of you. This has been Rage Against the Regime with Bobby Red.
All right, I'll end it. Yeah. I'll end it.
Ron Hoyle as a guest today. We had Bill DeGuillermo. We had our brother Jim Aiken. We had Yoga Bear, and we had, who else? Did I miss anybody? We had our brother Keith on today. We want to thank the listeners and look forward to seeing you again. Merry Christmas. Bobby, before you hang up, brother, do we have a show scheduled for the rest of the week, or are we off on holiday?
I am off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but then I'm back to work on Friday and Saturday, so I'm sure we'll do a show on Friday and Saturday, so no worries there. So, until next time, everybody.
All righty.
Bye-bye.